Guys, this is Gentleman Dan doing another helper series video. There have been a lot of people that have said they've had trouble soldering Dean's connectors. They don't like them because of that and look for other alternatives. I think the Dean's work really well, and I think because of their little spring-loaded little tongues, they hold well, and they seem to hold up to a lot of pulling and pushing as far as they come out. So what I'm going to do here is just show you what I use real quick. I use a very simple setup. I just use a set of vice grips. The vice grips holds the Dean's in its jaws. Pretty heavy, heavy enough that it doesn't move around too easily, and it makes it pretty easy to move this around though and get this from different angles and be able to do this. So very simply, I just take my soldering iron and some solder, and I will just tin the Dean's a little bit, make a little bubble of solder right on the Dean's connector, and that'll give just a little pool to go from. Then I'll take my wire, and I will. This is usually just coming right off the battery, and what I'll do is I'll tin the wire real quick. I'll put a nice bead of solder right through the center of the wire, get enough on there, and then just quite simply, I'm going to hold the battery or the lead or whatever I'm doing, and I'm going to use my soldering iron to melt the solder on the wire, go through to a little puddle on the Dean's, make sure that's all melted, and then let off, and then let that cool. And next thing you know, you have a good Dean's connection. After a second or two, you can see that it's on there pretty good. So I'll take this off real quick, and there you go. Then you have your Dean's soldered. It gets a little blurry when it's close, but that's all you do. You do that for both ones. Put a little bit of heat shrink on it, and heat shrink it on there, and then your Dean's is done. And the vice grips just really helps as far as holding everything in place and being quick to take off. I also use, sometimes I got these spring-loaded wire strippers. A lot of people use them, and you can use that as well. You can put the Dean's in the jaws of that, and that'll hold it, and it'll make it easy to solder with that as well. And when you get really good with soldering and Dean's, you end up being able to make conversion cables. Like this is for a JST plug. My helicopters use JST plugs, but most of my LiPos are Dean's, so what I want to be able to do is be able to use one of my airplane batteries on a helicopter, so you can make different ones like that. If I've got a helicopter that I want to use a JST plug for example, I can do it in reverse. So I can use the same LiPo on a helicopter or on a plane, or a plane or a helicopter, no matter what the ESC has on its side of it. And then when you get good with soldering and Dean's and heat shrink, you can start making harnesses like this. This is a parallel harness. I've got a couple small LiPos that sometimes I like to use in parallel to double the run time, and then put on a plane, and can maybe put the battery packs in different places. So you can take these JST connectors you can buy, and you can solder them to a Dean's, and when you heat shrink them, they look pretty professional. Kind of hard to tell that I did it. They kind of look like they're a factory connection. So that's all there is to it. And then when you're done, you've got a pretty strong connector that I haven't been able to pull one of these apart yet. I've had batteries fall off planes, and these have held up, so pretty confident this is a good way to do it. And as you can see, it only took about a minute to do for each wire. So I want to show how I did my Dean's connectors and see if this helps people out. Gentleman Dan, signing off.